In this world of endless possibilities, of abundance, sometimes we find ourselves miserable because we're not pleased with what we have, with what we are, with what we know, with who we are, with how much we have. And it always seems like someone else has something that we should have for ourselves. But this probably isn't only a modern problem, because the 10 Commandments in our Parashat Vayetchanan, were wise enough, God was wise enough to command us the eternal commandment, Lo tachmod, do not covet. Do not covet, it says in our parasha, you shall not covet your neighbor's wife, you shall not crave your neighbor's house or his field, or his male or female slave, or his ox, or his ass, or anything that is your neighbor's. So it turns out that people in ancient times, with much less abundance, were also busy with coveting and craving what other people had. The Rambam teaches us that the difference between coveting and craving is that coveting is when you actually go out and buy what your neighbor had. You go out and buy your neighbor's ox or horse or house or whatever because you have to have it. And it's negative because you're taking it from someone else and making it your own. And even if you pay them a lot of money, says the Rambam, if you pay them full price, even more than full price, the fact that you had to have something that belongs to someone else is lo tachmod, is do not covet, is an offense, a coveting offense. And the Rambam says craving is when you want to do that. You don't go out and buy it, but you wish you could. You want to have what someone else has. And it's very interesting that we find this coveting and craving, this tachmod and tit'aveh, also in the story of Etz Hadat, of the tree of knowledge. God says about the tree, ki tov ha'etz lema'achal v'chi ta'avahu la'einayim, lo tit'aveh, we find in Aseret HaDibrot, v'nechmad ha'etz la'askil, lo tachmod, we find in Aseret HaDibrot. The tree, this translation doesn't do justice to the Hebrew. The tree is desirable as a source of wisdom, and it's a delight to the eyes. We look at the tree and we ta'ava la'einayim, mit'aveh, we wish we could have it, and we think about what the tree can do for us. It can make us wise, and can make us it can be a source of wisdom for us, and then we covet it. All of this comes down to one simple, ancient, human, and eternal truth that we learn from the words of Ben Zoma in the Mishnah. Ben Zoma says, Ezeu ashir hasameach bechelko. Who is rich? Someone who is pleased with what they have. Which is simplifying a more elaborate idea that we find in the Talmud, in Masechet Shabbat, where we meet a few sages who are speaking amongst themselves about what makes a person rich. A few Tannaitic sages in a Braita, in the Talmud. They're discussing who is rich. One of them says, if you have many fields. Another one says, if you have a wife who has many good deeds. Another one says, if you have a toilet inside the house, which means you have plumbing and you have a comfortable house, then you're rich. If you have many goods, if you have property, that makes you rich. And Rabbi Meir says, no. What makes you rich is zeu ashir, kol sheyesh lo nachat ruach meoshro. A person who has means and has pleasure from their means. If you have what you have and you know how to enjoy what you have, and you don't have to live your life looking at what other people have and seeing what you could have better and what you could have more of, then you are rich. Shavua Tov from Schechter.